Hey everyone, Junior 2000 here, coming at you with a review of the 2004 criminally underrated Marvel film, which is another Marvel film because I know I reviewed The Hulk and Daredevil. Those are two other fucking badass underrated Marvel films, but I'm picking another one that I really enjoyed, and I still think this movie kicks ass. Is the 2004 film The Punisher, starring Thomas Jane as the Punisher and John Travolta as the lead, as the main bad guy villain of the movie. And this movie fucking rules. This movie's a rocket. It kicks a lot of ass. No holds barred. I agree with the Matt Linky from Cleveland Sun. No holds barred action. Motherfucking A, right. That is top notch of seeing what this movie is. It is no holds barred action. And yeah, this movie kicks ass. It's a great revenge movie. If anybody doesn't care for superhero movies, like, just give this movie a chance. If they never seen it, give this movie a chance. The Punisher from 2004 still kicks ass. And it's a great revenge movie. If anybody likes revenge movies, it is a straight up revenge movie. That doesn't that doesn't stay all fucking pussified like, oh, I'm gonna arrest you at the end, villain, and take you to jail. No. We'll get to the end. But yeah, this is such a fucking badass movie. I know they did a sequel, which is Warzone with Ray Stevenson. I still have not seen it, but I heard bad things about it. But I still gotta blind watch it and see how I enjoy it. But I have not seen it. I know a lot of people who criticize a lot of Marvel movies. They're gonna be like the bad sequels. The bad sequels, oh, they're bad. They're bad. Like Spider-Man 3, that got a lot of criticism, but I actually like Spider-Man 3, so I'll check out Warzone. I know they did the TV show with John Bernthal as the Punisher, and he did a good job. And I like that Punisher TV show. I think that show got canceled on Netflix, which sucks because that was a good show. Very vicious. Like that takes Punisher into a new level of violence and carnage. And that's a gruesome and brutal motherfucking show. That's hard knocks, kick ass action. I have seen the '89 movie with Dolph Lundgren. It is probably like not the best movie because it does have some flaws to it. But Dolph Lundgren does a good job as the Punisher, and it was cool that because it was one of the movies, like one of the Marvel movies that were during at the time in the '80s and the early '90s. They were trying to get a lot of Marvel movies into production, like the Amazing Spider-Man movie from Canon Films. They were about to make that, but Canon Films kept like delaying the motherfucking, especially like the filmmakers that were involved part of the movie. It was going to be made by the writers, but some of the writers left, and then they had to be rewritten. Then they were about to do it, but they got rewritten, and yeah, uh, the Spider-Man movie from Canon Films was in development hell until it got made in 2002 and released by and directed by Sam Raimi. But yeah, a lot of production issues with a lot of Mario films getting in production. Of course, they made the Fantastic Four movie, but it got pulled from release in theaters because it was such a bad movie that they just put it on. They put it into the shelf of the company that didn't want to release it because they probably saw how bad it was. The movie has never gotten seen or anything. I'm not sure if there's a copy of it that's out there, but they didn't want it to be seen in theaters because it was such a bad movie. But yeah, a lot of Marvel movies were trying to get made, and of course they made the Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren, and it wasn't a bad movie. But I would say I like this movie better. But the one with Dolph Lundgren's pretty good. I still want to find the DVD of that one because I have it as a Punisher collection, and that's a good movie. Hopefully, it gets like a 4K one day. But yeah, this is a review of The Punisher from 2004, and starring Thomas Jane, John Travolta, Will Patton, Roy Schneider, Laura Herring, Ben Foster, and Rebecca Rom- Romaine Stamos. And directed by Jonathan Hensling, and of course, Stan Lee's involved in the executive producer of the movie. And it kind of sucks that Stan Lee didn't get a cameo in this movie because Stan Lee's known to have his cameos in his Marvel movies, but fuck it. That would have been really cool to see him in a cameo of this movie of the Punisher. This is a fucking badass movie, man. Yeah, it's a rated R Marvel movie, folks. Like, yep, there's motherfucking Marvel, and it's rated R. So yeah, I don't want to go to back about Deadpool, but when I don't really care for Deadpool, folks. Like, that's another movie I would say I think it's a bit overrated. Is Deadpool. Sorry for that, but it's just my opinion. I never cared for Deadpool. I was interested in the movie, but I just can't stand Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. I just never really cared for Ryan Reynolds that much. I was interested in the Deadpool character, like being like vicious and violent, but it was just mixed with that like over the top raunchy comedy bullshit. That just kind of like made me not interested in the movie. But Deadpool was like a great character in the comics and very vicious. But a lot of people back in the when Deadpool came out, a lot of people want to say that fucking Deadpool was the first R-rated movie. That's bullshit. The first two R-rated movies from Marvel was Blade 1996 with Wesley Snipes as the character Blade. And this Punisher movie was the second Marvel movie that's rated R. And people want to say, oh, Deadpool was the first R-rated movie when it first came out. Fucking bullshit. Have you not seen that it was Blade that was the first one that was R-rated? Yeah. But yeah, this is an R-rated revenge movie about as Frank Castle that Thomas Jane plays, who he's an FBI informant to arrest some of the people that are involved in John Travolta's gang, and then they get busted, and John Travolta wants revenge, so he takes revenge on having his posse gangs to go after Frank Castle and his family, that they're having a picnic in their family's house in a beach house area. And what leads to another is a massacre with all the family members getting killed. And Roy Schneider playing Frank Castle's dad in the movie, who joins in the shootout with the gangs, having like Frank Castle and him shooting the bad guys, posse gangs that John Travolta sent his gangs to shoot Frank Castle's family. One leads to another. His dad gets shot in the fire, but Thomas James' character, Frank Castle, starts shooting more and more and more. His son and his wife are trying to get away, and one leads to another. The car gets crashed, trying to get away from the bad guys, only for the bad guys to drive their truck and run them over and kill them. Kind of like the similar way how Matt Max and wife and his kid got killed in the first Matt Max movie. Similar route like that. But yeah, Frank Castle's wife and son gets run over by the gang's truck, and then Frank Castle is heartbroken, seeing their dead bodies laying there, run over, crying and mourning to them. And then he gets attacked by the gangs. They shoot him a few times, leaving him to die by shooting up a gasoline tank to blow up and have him die and fly in the sea and just drown. So yeah, he's left to die, only to be found by a fisherman dude and helping him and rescuing him, getting him back to land. And yeah, one leads to another. He goes back to the wreck of what happened, the aftermath wreck of the beach house being destroyed and stuff. And he goes and finds the Punisher shirt, of course, the iconic Punisher shirt with the logo, which is the Punisher logo. with the skull on the t-shirt. He finds it in the sand, and it's such a cool shirt. And that makes him want to motivate a motherfucking revenge. Yes, like that is where you get it to. He wants revenge, and I like that shit. Revenge movies do kick ass. But yeah, he goes and wants revenge. He gets an apartment in the city and trying to fix up the weapons to make that he has and all the tools that he puts in his cars to fix like shield windows and all that shit. And he goes on to meet with some of the characters. There's like some neighbors that live there. He becomes friends with like Ben Foster's character, who is like this gamer dude that has all this piercing shit all over his face. Like he becomes friends with him after saving him. After saving Ben Foster's character from a guy that's beating him up in the hallway. And of course he tells the guy, you shouldn't play with knives. And then he smacks the knife into his nose. That was pretty funny. And of course he becomes friends with the girl that's a neighbor as well, but she's also like a waitress diner that works at the diner in the area, in the same apartment area, played by Rebecca Romijn Stamos. And yeah, she does a good performance too, and she does have some good chemistry with Frank Castle. It's like Thomas Jane's character as Frank Castle. They both have good chemistry when they talk to each other, and yep, they start being friends, interacting with each other, with the neighbors. And of course, there's another neighbor that becomes friends with them. The overweight kitchen dude that likes to sing, uh, that likes to sing, what's it, classical music, especially in that scene when he's singing with Ben Foster and Rebecca Romijn's character in this kitchen scene with the shit. I don't know. I forgot what that music is, but it goes do 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 do. By your do do do. Especially when that song plays in the middle of a fucking fight with Thomas Jane and motherfucking Kevin Nash, which I'll get to in a second because that's more into like the later part of the movie. But yeah, that part does make me laugh, and it's so cool that it includes with the vicious, violent fight with Thomas Jane and Kevin Nash. But of course, they become friends with Frank Castle in the movie, and then they encounter a character named I forgot, Henry something. He's the guy that sings the Punisher theme, that one that you always hear in the trailer and you hear in WWE promos and all that good shit. It's a badass song. I forgot what the hell it's called, but it's like the one with it's a scene where the guy's playing the guitar in the diner, and it's such a badass scene because the song is pretty badass too. Do 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 for your flying when you're looking at my eyes in times good. The evil never light goes through my eyes. I don't know how to sing the lyrics, but it's such a kick ass song. But yeah, it's pretty much singing his Crane Castle song to his death. But of course, because the same guy encounters him in a bridge chase scene, and of course, Frank Castle is trying to get away with him because this dude has his fucking shotgun that's trying to shoot him, but Frank Castle has like the shield windows to block the bullets and stuff. Gets away. He's trying to get away, but some fucking kid gets in the way, throwing a kickball, and he almost hit this stupid little shit, and he crashes the car. And the guitar singer comes and is about to kill him. But of course, he's like a villain with this fucking monologue taking forever. You are one dumb son of a bitch. Bring a knife to a gunfight. and he's about to shoot him until like Frank Castle shoots the knife that flies out of the knife and it goes into his throat, all bloody, where the knife just leads out a bunch of gory blood coming out. You're a one done son of a bitch. Bringing out your gunfight, and it has like this weird ass noise that he makes when he gets stabbed in the neck with the flying knife. Like it's like one of those. It's like an arrow. Like it's like if an arrow got shot into his neck. Like he makes like this weird noise. Whoever, like, I think it's the guy that does sing the actual Punisher theme song that he sings to the guitar scene. Did a good performance as the bad guy. Like he did a pretty good job. That guy did a good job. Even though he did a funny groaning noise when he got stabbed in the neck. But he did a good performance. Even his singing is pretty badass. But one leads to another. John Travolta's character is getting pissed off. He starts killing his brother. Because he thinks his brother's fucking his wife and stuff. And he kills his wife too, throwing her through a train. But the brother that his own brother, I think it's his brother or cousin. What the fuck I don't know. But Will Patton plays his brother, and John Travolta stabs him, and of course his wife. He thinks his wife's fucking cheating on him, so she throws her on the train and gets run over. Because of course all of this is pissing off John Travolta's character, and he wants to fucking kill Frank Castle, so he sends in the fucking Russian after Frank Castle and the neighbors had dinner, and they're putting like fucking Shakespeare music, like Beethoven. My money gone. I forgot. I'm not sure if it's Beethoven or not, but it's like iconic classical music that's always heard in a lot of movies. But it's like concluding to a fight with Frank Castle and the Russian, which is actually that part is actually accurate in a comic book. Which article about the Frank Castle's the Punisher fighting the Russian, which is like part of the like in the Marvel comics. But the fight is very brutal and vicious. Such a vicious fight. Like, and the Russian is played by WWE, WWF, WCW superstar, Hall of Famer Kevin Nash. And I think he filmed it when he was like, I think he filmed the same time that he left WWE back in 2003. Because he has that same haircut that he had at SummerSlam 2003. What's it called? He kicks Frank Castle's ass very viciously, very brutally, punching him the fuck out of him, tossing him around, trying to use weapons, but the Russian keeps fucking up all the weapons. And there's a legit part where it actually hurt Kevin Nash, but he didn't want to fuck up the acting, and he stayed in character. Was Frank Castle stabs him in the shoulder, that Thomas Jane grabs the knife, and he grabs the knife and stabs him, and legit, Kevin Nash actually got stabbed for reals. He actually legit got stabbed. So yeah, he was supposed to, like, I don't know, I think because he was supposed to have like this padding that was under his shirt, so the knife could go into it, but it accidentally fucking missed it, and it hit his shoulder for real. And of course, Kevin Nash stayed in character, looking at the wound and smiling like a crazy motherfucker. And he just stays in character and starts still having the fight with Thomas Jane and still kicking ass. And not fucking up the scene where, oh shit, my shoulder fucking hurts, I got stabbed for real. No, he didn't. But he kept staying in character. Vicious fight, brutal fight. And they get into the neighbor's house where they're singing the song, and it ends where the fighting still, and then Frank Castle throws heart boiling water in front of the Russian's face, burning it and disfiguring him. And of course, spears him through the wall into the stairs, the hallway stairs, to pretty much like kill the Russian, where his neck is snapped from the fall. And the Punisher's tired, so they have to heal him, take him to the hospital. But more of John Travolta's gangs appear and they torture Ben Foster's character because they're trying to hide Frank Castle, and that part is very vicious with his piercing getting removed. That is says some torture shit right there, man. But they did it so they could not rat out on Frank Castle's whereabouts, so they won't take him. And of course, Frank Castle's out for more revenge, killing a guy that's in there with getting a box cut. I think was it like I think a paper saw machine or something blade. He grabs it, breaks it off the paper thing, and kills one of the bad guys that are out there into his fucking head and get all the practical effects of all that gory shit. And yeah, he is kicking ass. So he takes all the rage into himself and puts on the Punisher shirt, ready to take some rage into his fist and taking revenge in it and kicking ass and taking no names. He asks his friends to take the Ben Foster's character to the hospital. He needs to go and get some medical treatment. Well, he's going to revenge on these sons of bitches and John Travolta's character. So he goes after his gangs and shoots and kills them one by one, brutally, viciously. And there's a character that I thought was funny, the way Frank Castle kills his character. Not the funny character. I mean, like, there's a funny ass part where I think he stabs him in the knee, or I think he's stabbing him or something. He stabs him in the knee, and the guy goes, "Ooh." like, like that part made me laugh. Like the way that guy has that reaction where he's like, "Ooh." Where he stabbed him in the knee, and then Frank Castle stabs him in the neck to kill him at the final blow. But that part does make me laugh, like with that guy's groaning, the way he's over the top groaning, like, and then he stabs him in the neck, goes after more of the members of the gang, kills he kills the John Travolta's son in the movie, who's another gangster in the movie, kills him by giving him the grenade, and I guess the dumb bastard let go of the grenade and blowed him some up in the building. And of course, he's after John Travolta's character at the end, and you get like a really good music in the background of revenge music. Uh, yeah, with the Punisher, Frank Castle, hunting down John Travolta at the end in the parking lot, shooting him in the knee, tying him to like chains, and then the chains are connected to a car that's dragging him into the parking lot, and he detonates some grenades, dynamites. I think dynamite he detonates to have like this big explosion around John Travolta's character to just get burned and blown up, and one of the cars flies in the air, crashing into John Travolta's dead body that's getting dragged. So yeah, that was a great way to kill a fucking villain, and John Travolta did a good job as the villain. He kind of does come off a little bit over the top and cheesy in his performance, but John Travolta did a good job as the bad guy, because I do like him as a bad guy in some movies. Like, he was pretty good in Broken Arrow, that John Woo movie, and that was a fucking badass one to watch. But yeah, he gets his revenge, and you get the iconic Punisher logo with the fire flames around the parking lot, symbolizing the Punisher logo. Like, you know how in The Crow, Eric Draven kills when he kills T-Bird and the fire, he puts like a fire around and it symbols the crow. Frank Castle does that same thing with the car, exploding cars, where it symbolizes the Punisher logo, and so fucking viciously well done revenge ending. Like that's how I love revenge movies, where you get the fucking final blow. Like first getting that, like you first have the son of a bitch get tortured, feel the pain, what he made, like, cause he did that first when he started shutting down the bad guy that John Travolta plays, shoots him in the knee, feeling the fucking pain and agony, dragging himself, trying to get away, but no, Frank Castle grabs his carcass ass, chains it up, drags the cars, exploding the cars around him. He's getting all burned up, and then one car burns and flies in the air and crushes him in the face. That's fucking badass shit right there. Like, that's some badass revenge right there. And yeah, at the end, he gives John Travolta, like, was it John Travolta gets his comeuppance at the end. Frank Castle gives, was it John Travolta's money to the neighbors that were good friends to them. He gave them their share of the money, and he moves away. And his journey is to continue as the Punisher. And then you even got some pretty good music. I think it was at Finger 11. They play a song called "Slow Chemical," which is not played in the movie, but it's actually Kane's theme song, which is a badass song by Finger 11, singing "Slow Chemical." Great song that they used for Kane's theme song in WWE. But yeah, such a badass Marvel movie that still holds up. I know at first, when I first saw this movie, I kind of didn't care for it when I was younger. I never really cared for this one. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I also forgot to mention Will Patton. He does play a character. He's not really much in the movie. Of course, he's involved in the torture scene with torturing Ben Foster's character, pulling his piercings out, and being a very vicious motherfucker in that scene. He did a good job in that part, but it's just there's not much scenes in him. Like I kind of wish there was more scenes with him, but of course he gets killed by John Travolta's character. So yeah, Will Patton's he's another good actor that I like. Ben Foster, another good actor I like. Rebecca Romijn Stamos, she's pretty good. She was also in the X-Men movie as what's it, Mystique. So yeah, she's another actress that's in the in the Marvel's universe. She was in X-Men as Mystique. So yeah, The Punisher, starring Thomas Jane and John Travolta, such a badass movie. I really enjoy it. I think this movie still fucking holds up. It's very brutal, viciously kick ass throughout. This is when 2000 Marvel movies kicked ass and take no names and were badass motherfucking movies that were really fun to watch. And yeah, that's my review for The Punisher from 2004, folks. Yep. Hit the like, subscribe, and take care, folks. Have a good night, folks. Bye bye.